actions and decision makings are very important, and considering it is a quality of doing a right thing. I believe that once a person do an act, he or she must look for the possible outcomes or effect, especially to other people. You must consider all the aspects and your ways in committing such as an act. Because even if you achieve something but you got it in a wrong way, it doesn't count. Yes, you will receive all the pleasure, you will achieve your goal, but other will suffer from your actions, and it will not help you to develop yourself. Always remember that um, in every action you make, you are not just doing it just for yourself, but also for the sake of other people, for the benefit of other people, and what are the best for other people. In every action you made, you must look if your actions are morally right or not, because committing unethical and immoral acts will leads you will lead you to will lead you through the um, it will lead you to the wrong path or worst. But if you will be considerable in your actions and decision makings, following the laws, the social norms, and most importantly, the law of God, and it will guide you to always do the right thing.
So yun, from my own perspective na kung paano ba para sa akin kung paano ko ba i-recognize ang isang bagay na ito ba ay tama o mali is, or to be qualified as tama or mali for me, is iniisip ko muna yung effect niya and sa nakakarami, hindi lang para sa akin. And then, inag-iisipan ko muna to ng mabuti bago i-consider na yon. At hindi ako tumitingin sa isang bagay lamang na ito is mali na to, ito is mali, tama na to. And hindi ako nag-decision ng agad-agad na kino-consider ko to is tama or mali. Maraming basis pa para ma-consider ko to. Lahat naman tayo is may kanya-kanyang basihan na ma-identify natin to as mali. May sarili-sarili tayong basihan, kaya nga tayo medyo hindi minsan nagkakaintindihan sa mundong ito dahil may kanya-kanya tayong pinaniniwalaan. So, para sa akin, lagi ko lang iniisip yung tama at saan yung mas gagaan yung or mas comfy sa decision na yun.
Good morning. This is Carl Vincent Bonero, Bscrim 4. This is my insight in what is right and what is wrong. In ethics, the standard of what is right and wrong, and they are based on our values. Being ethical requires making moral judgment, and that's not always easy. Ethical behavior takes courage and has to be practiced. If instinct tell you it's a clear choice between right and wrong, follow your instinct.
Ethics is a very interesting subject to learn because at its simplest, ethics is a system of moral principle. Ethics is concerned with what is good for individuals and society, and it also described as a moral philosophy. The term is derived from a Greek word ethos, which can mean custom, habit, character, or disposition. And ethics is very important in life because ethics are the principle that guide us to make a positive impact through our decision and action. Ethics plays an important role not only in our personal life but also in business. We are all encouraged to make ethical choices and apply ethics in all areas of our life. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kian Peñaflor from Bscrim 14, and I am here to share my insights and perspective about the concepts that we have discussed on ethics. In doing your actions, you need to have morality, or simply knowing what is right and what is wrong. However, in knowing the righteousness of an action, there are certain measures that you need to consider. You need to make sure that your actions are not against the will of God. You also need to consider that your actions should be for your own happiness, but not affecting other people. However, happiness is relative. What you think is good for you may not be good for other people. That's why you need to make sure that your happiness leads to positivity and good things in life. That's all.
Ethics are the standard of what is right and wrong, and they are based on our values. Being ethical requires making a moral judgment, and that's not always easy. Ethical behavior takes courage and has to be practiced. Utilitarianism, the principle of greatest number, it says here that the greatest happiness for the greatest number. It says here that the right and wrong are to be judged by the degree to which the action judged achieves the greatest happiness of the greatest number, called also utility principle.
I almost disappeared, trying not to take up too.
Good morning, sir. I'm Rosal Ayan, and today I'm going to have a video presentation about the philosophies and information about ethics on what is my perspectives about my standard in identifying the right and wrong thing. Firstly, when we say philosophies, of course, it is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Second, when we say ethics, it is the branch of philosophy that deals with the code of moral practice by a person or group of people. Ethics also based on well-founded standards of right and wrong that prescribe what humans ought to do. So lastly, my insight and perspective about right and wrong thing is that of my course in my own standard. Sometimes I made the wrong thing that I just thought at first is good. I also made the right thing that I thought at first is wrong, and also my standard is quite high. I also use my consciousness and my ability to think whenever I have to make a decision. I always think that consequences of every decision, I never make a decision hastily. I'm just a human and no one is perfect. But at the end, I just realize all the wrong and the right thing that I made for myself or to others. I also believe the saying about ethics that avoiding what is wrong and avoiding what is right. And that's all. Thank you. Once again, I'm Rosal Ayan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sir Jumel Tanyega. We will talk about ethics. What is ethics? Ethics is a branch of knowledge that tackles principles of morality. It is indeed one of the basic parts of knowledge that humans should attain. In this world, this is how we distinguish the wrong doing from what is right. Basically, the system that wants the right and wrong behavior. We have talked about a lot of things when it comes to ethics to the fact that this is a general knowledge that should be putting attention. However, learning and understanding the ethics of one could give us deep understanding about life. So ethics. As a student, I really do think that this is essential to one's life, especially when we are asking ourselves about our purpose. Ethics is about values and morality of us humans. This is about how our culture, behavior, characteristics, responsibility, and traits works. This is where it revolves around. The field of ethics gives us a deep understanding of life and give us different points of views in life. This is important because it defines us who really are and what we really do. It reflects the attitude and behavior of an individual. Ethics give us the proper identity that we are looking for. Ethics help us reflect on what is wrong and what is right. Reflection from these doings that can make us a better person in the near future. Therefore, this is the root of someone's true behavior in their life. In conclusions, this topic and field is essential and important to one's everyday life. I have learned that it can guide us to better a path. I have learned many things that can sharpen if I will apply it to my lifestyle and my life itself. I have learned that we can do better if just really know what is morally right. So this is what I learned from ethics. Thank you, sir. Thank you, classmate. My name is Shinichi Brillante from Bscrim 14. Thank you.
Ethics, a code of moral standard of conduct for what is good and right, as opposed to what is bad or wrong. For me, right thing and good thing is composed into two different ways. First, if you are doing right thing for yourself and not good for others, like for example, you will give only 50 pesos and it is good for your one day allowance, and you see your brother crying because your mother did not give him an allowance that is good for you but it is not good for your brothers. And the other one is when you are doing good for the others and it is not good for yourself. Like for example, in the street, you see a homeless people, then you only have enough money for go home, but you choose to give it to homeless people because for them to eat food so that it is good for them to that you help them, but it is not good for you. Now the wrong thing. Wrong thing is also composed into two different ways. First, doing bad things for yourself but maybe it is good into others. The other one, doing bad things into others for you to be a good for yourself.
Studying ethics, I learned about the principle of morality, what is right and wrong, what are the accepted and not accepted behavior of a person. As a person, we should always remember that we exist by purpose and not just for nothing. We live our lives to survive and achieve things. But how can we live our life with peace and safety if moral principle is not there? Based on the philosophies and information I learned from my ethics subject, for us to be able to survive life, we should always follow rules and do the right thing because wrongdoing will lead us to nothing. Immoral acts have punishment from the authority and also from God who gave us life. Means of purpose in life we exist to good and create positive impact to others. We have our own needs or desire, but it doesn't mean that we need to fulfill all of, especially if not accepted in our society or other people. We should always think of others because as a future part of law enforcement, our duty is protect people and make our country a better place for everyone. My standard in identifying the right thing and the wrong thing are: right thing are things that has positive impact in life, influence others in a good way, create change in our society and deserve rewards. While wrong thing are things that has negative impact in life, can lead us to trouble, influence others, but not in a good way and has punish instead of rewards. But we need to always remember that right thing and wrong things are meant to happen or to do or on balancing life and for us identifying it's different. As a person, I grew up knowing what right and wrong because of my family, society, religion, and law.
Good day, I'm Karjing Boss Gutierrez and I'm here to present to you my insights and perspective about my standards in identifying the right thing and the wrong thing. So first things first, I want to give my insights about morals. Morals may be used to refer specific beliefs or attitudes that people have or to describe acts that people perform. Thus, it's sometimes said that individuals' personal conduct is referred to as his morals. And if we fall short of behaving properly, this can be described as immoral. So basically, moral is a differentiation of intentions, decisions, and actions between those that are distinguished as proper and those that are improper. And on the other thing, I also want to give my perspective and insights about virtue of ethics. So, virtue of ethics is ethical framework that is concerned with understanding the good as a matter of developing the virtuous character of a person. It focuses on the formation of one's character brought about by determining and doing virtuous acts. So for me, virtue of ethics deals with a person's integrity and morals. It states that generosity makes a moral and virtuous person by practicing good habits such as honesty. It guides us individual without clear rules to overcome the complexity of ethics. Also, virtue of ethics helps individual to maintain vital personal and interpersonal relationships for a good life. Moral schizophrenia, which is one advantage it has over most other moral philosophies, does not fall prey to virtue of ethics. One example that makes virtue of ethics important are virtue are attitudes, arrangements, or traits of character that allows us to be and act in ways that develop this potential. They allow us to follow the ideas that we have adopted. Example of virtues includes honesty, courage, compassion, generosity, fidelity, integrity, fairness, self-control, and prudence. And that is my insight and perspective about moral and virtue of ethics in identifying the right and the wrong thing. Thank you and goodbye.
Hello everyone, my name is Bonifacio Barcinal from Bscrim 1 to 4. I want to share my insight and perspective about my subject ethics. I make moral and ethical decisions based on knowledge I gain in subject ethics. Being are not means to an end but an end in of themselves. To treat them, anything else is to treat them as something other than what they are. I think many things can be judged ethically, but by the outcomes they produce. They are the basis of how our social system were founded. It is the outcome that allow us to understand what is ethical. That is how we decided whether to act. Putting ourselves in the situation we are encountering can allow us to understand our feelings about the matter.
Good day everyone. I'm Lagidaw Junpik. Based on the philosophies and information discussed in all the chapters in ethics, what is your insight, perspective about your standards in identifying the right things and wrong things? Based on the information that I gathered in the discussions about the attitudes that people have or to describe acts that people perform, everyone know the right and wrong. That every people recognize difference between right and wrong. Utilitarianism cannot lead to selfish acts. People act and do things because we find them. Additionally, all of us have a freedom of choice to decide whether we choose to do right things or the bad things. That is depends on the situation We have one of the example of this. When we want to help someone, but the only action we need to do is willful. As to do the wrong things on that situation, we need to choose whether we help them or not.